Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is a channel about marriage to a Filipina. That's a woman from the Philippines. I got married 8 years ago and 5 months, still married today. So please subscribe here if that's something that's been on your mind, and leave a comment. I want to comment today about finding her online or going to the Philippines. Here's a comment from a video. In the past on TikTok, they say, I don't know why you'd use a website like I did. Just fly there for a vacation and pick what you want and make it happen. So let's talk about that briefly. I used an online site called Christian Filipina. I have an affiliate link there in the link tree on TikTok and the comments and description on YouTube. And I found it wonderful that I could talk to so many women that actually seemed like they wanted to talk and date and get married. And that was a big, refreshing change. And when I went to meet my wife, it was for the purpose of marrying her. We got engaged on day 18. I know that's early, and I certainly don't recommend that for everybody. And I got time off of work. Since I had it, it was only like April at that time. And I used most of it to go meet her and get married and have a honeymoon and come back and start the visa process. Now, that's the way I did it, and I was very, very serious about getting married. And so was my wife, and so that's worked out for us. And what that's made me do was be able to go to the Philippines, a place I knew nothing about at all, and have a wife that was there to meet me and show me around, make sure I didn't get lost or mugged or stolen from, stuff like that. And then we met family and everything and started doing our whatever we could do there for the visa petition, for the spousal visa, because we were going to get married unless something, terrible showed up or happened, and it didn't. So we got married while I was there. And I know some people, they do it that way, but they take too long to get over there, like several years. Or they are in the Philippines and they find somebody. The problem is, if you're living in the West like I was, and you're at the time 53 years old, and you're working, you can't take 2 months off. I mean, if you're self-employed, maybe not, but most of us don't have that much time. And depending if you've changed jobs or if you've been somewhere a long time like I had, then you might have very limited vacation time. So could you go to the Philippines in, let's say, 3 weeks, you don't know anybody, and then try to meet somebody that you could start some kind of a relationship with, and then go back home and be communicating with, and maybe that's who you find. I assume if you're going to go out there and, I guess I'd call it cold, looking for a wife, just starting from scratch, not knowing anyone, that you don't plan on really doing it again. Because if you spend the thousands of dollars it takes for a plane ticket, a place to stay and eat and everything, and you come back empty-handed after several weeks, you might not feel like doing it again. In which case they probably turn to the online system, which is what I recommend, doing it online first. But again, people have met someone out in the Philippines. There's nothing wrong with that. I would venture to say, though, that almost all the time they have had significant time, and I would use that as being anything over a month. Most people aren't going to spend a whole month of vacation and then use it all up and have nothing for the rest of the year, unless they go at the end of the year. And so that's the danger that you have, a lack of time, and you go out there. Once you survive jet lag, might take a couple days to get used to the weather, and you're out looking for somebody, you don't even know where to meet them. What if you strike out? It is not the way some people make it sound, like a Westerner can go to the Philippines and they just almost drop dead over the sight of a foreigner, and they just can't wait for him to talk to her so she can get married. I don't know if it ever was that way, but it's not that way now. So you have to spend some time getting to know them. And myself, I'm not sure I would be able to do that. You might even put extra pressure on yourself being there for a short time, and I gotta hook up with somebody that I can keep communicating with when I get back, or I just wasted all this time. And so, my computer screen come back on. So that would be my concern. Online, you can sort through hundreds or thousands, depending on how much time you want to invest in it, women, to find some people you think you could talk to. And I would advise doing that and then going to meet them. I personally went just to meet and marry my wife. And most Filipinas would prefer you do it that way. They do not want you going there and knowing that you're also going to see one or two others, because then they won't want to see you. They might tolerate it, but they won't like it because they think that's cheating and you're being insincere and you're lying. So they'd rather have you just go out there and meet them. So let me know what you think about this. I'd love to be wrong and think that people could just go to the Philippines for a few weeks and find somebody and say, look, I've got to go back to, my country, but let's keep in touch, and I'm really interested in you. And I'm not going to really be talking to any others because I just met you and I know how your culture works and I want to get married someday. I think the odds of doing that, boots on the ground with very limited time, like several weeks, is probably not very good. So that's the way I feel about it. But I know many people online that have been doing it for years and just can't find somebody. It's hard to communicate. They feel like they're not always honest and consistent with their stories, so maybe they're lying to them. But I think that online is better with the Philippines because I still think that there are more serious women over there want to meet you online than there are in America. I tried 4 dating sites, 2 of them twice, the usual big ones, and they just didn't help, not at all. But you'll find scammers too on the best of sites in the Philippines because scamming is such a big business. But it's up to you as the man to make sure that you're not scammed. Don't fall for the red flags, like I love you or I need money, something like that. Anything that seems inappropriate, out of place, too early, follow your gut on that. And if you spend enough time on it, you should be able to get somebody to go to camera. And if you can maintain that relationship, they want to talk to you, might as well talk most every day, if they're looking for a man and you're looking for a woman. If it's going to be infrequent, I'd say you haven't found her yet. So that's what I would do. A dating site. Maybe the person here, can't see his name, can't read it. Maybe he was thinking that the dating sites in the Philippines are like the United States. They're not. I was inundated, flooded with women who wanted to chat. I probably just excused 200 chats in the first few days because that was kind of interfering with my ability to look at profiles. So I'd just click on a button. I think it was automatic, just politely refused. And then the one I did talk to like 4 women, 4 or 5 before I met my wife on day 5. And we just took it from there and went steady with each other. But it was easy for me to find people there to talk to right away. I said, do you want to go on camera so we can talk and see each other? And all of them said yes. I know that's not everybody's experience, but I think you should try to get them on camera as soon as possible so you're not wasting your time, and they'll know that you're serious about them, and if they're serious about you, they'll go on camera with you. Then you can see where it goes and be consistent with your time. You may not have to go to the Philippines without anybody there. Who knows, you might start panicking and asking out the wrong women just because you went there, and you don't want to come back empty-handed and tell all your friends, well, I couldn't find anybody there, even though a lot of other people do. It's hard to do these days. It's not maybe like it used to be. So please leave a comment on this. I highly encourage looking for a wife online. I don't discourage going out there. It's just the matter of having enough time to find love beyond the sea.